Well, hello YouTube peoples. We're back again. Today, we are going to try and figure out where our coolant is leaking from. It's not much of one, but as you can see, when it parks and sits, we have a little bit of a puddle underneath. So let's pop this thing open and see what we can find. This is my 2003 Mercedes-Benz SL500 on the R230 chassis. Follow me as we restore this vehicle to its full glory. Alright, so I've taken those covers off. And a quick look here, I can see some white. It looks like coolant, dried coolant. If I come over here, now I know this radiator hose was replaced before I got it. This is a newer hose. And if I look in here, there definitely seems to be a mess. So what we will do is we will get a pressure kit from the local parts store and pressurize the system and see what we see. All right, so AutoZone didn't have it. Let's see if Advanced Auto Parts does. So here's the kit they gave us. $280 deposit. We get that back when we return it. And this one happens to be brand new. And they also suggested that we open it up this way, even though the label's on the other side. So, bonus unboxing video. Let's see what we get. Can I open a knife one hand? Okay. Way more difficult to do one-handed than it should have been. But here is the kit. So it should have everything we need in it to connect to this coolant system and pressurize it and hopefully find a leak. All right, so it looks like we got everything hooked up. By happy coincidence, the number 1 fitting is what fit on the tank there. There's our gauge. I'm gonna pump this up to about 20 PSI or 1.4 bar, and then we'll start detecting. Well, there we go. All right, now the question is, where is it coming from? Let me see if I can get a better angle. All right. It's kind of hard to tell. But it's the radiator, not the hose. All right. Not thrilled about that. All right. Let's try this again. Release the pressure. It's definitely coming from in there. I did. So $410 for the Mercedes Radiator. And I do like genuine Mercedes-Benz parts in the car. But for $10, I'm gonna try this first. All right, so it says hit it with some degreaser. So I'm gonna use everybody's favorite. We'll let that dry off, then I'll come and wipe it down, get a nice clean surface, and then we'll put the putty on it. Oops. Okay. Super awkward spot to get it. There, put that in there. We'll come back in 25 minutes. I am not feeling confident.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay. It's been about an hour and a half. This stuff is supposed to set in 25 minutes. That's what it looks like. Certainly not pretty. I don't even know if I got exactly where the crack is because it's a very tight space. But we'll find out. So the best I can do now is a test drive and then see what happens. It's weird, it blinks on the camera, but not in real life. Anyway, brought it up to operating temperature. Now I'm gonna back it in, park it, and we'll come out and see if we find a puddle underneath it. Because I don't see it leaking now.
Nope.
It's not focusing. But it's dripping. So looks like the answer is going to be new radiator.
1 week later.
Okay, so obviously the plastic weld didn't work. It's new radiator time. So I've got the car up. You can see down here, the leak continued. I'm going to drain the coolant and replace the radiator. Here we go. Okay, so right there is the drain plug. I'll go ahead and undo that, and that should drain out the coolant. Then we can start taking it apart. So, difficult to do one-handed, so I'll be right back. Okay, so you take this cover off here, and to do so, you gotta take that one clip out of there, but this has to come off anyway, so you can get those bolts and we can get this top bracket off. So I've already done it over here, and you can see we got those bolts with that bracket off. There's 3 on each side. and that should remove the top piece and give us access to the radiator. And then these got to come off. Hit them with a little bit of WD-40. Yep, that just happened. So, good news is it's loose. Bad news is we'll have to replace it, which is fine, and get the other one out. Well, this one busted off too. Look at that nastiness. But, all right, worry about that later. Let's take that fella off and then get the camera down in there. Let's see if we can run this other side. And that's got to come off. Let me get working on that. So 3/4 inch wrench did it. And then if we look down below, we got another one in the lower radiator hose to take off on this side. Let me get going. Lower radiator hose, you pull that clip out and it should just slide off. Last hose to disconnect. That's nasty looking. This one's also being a booger to get off too. I'm almost done. Alright, I didn't film it, but you take the fan out. Alright, and there's one sneaky little bolt. Let's see if I can show it to you on camera. It is right there. It's hard to get good focus on it, but I believe it. There we go. It's a 10mm bolt. So we got it out, but we got some bad news. So here's the old. This rubber stripping attaches down here, and we have this hook here and that hook there that the fan goes into. Our new radiator does not have the hooks at the bottom for the fan to sit into, nor does it have that lip for the rubber. And it also has this extra outlet or inlet for the side of the radiator tank. So, at first I thought I could just plug that and use this, but once I realized I can't put the rubber and it doesn't have the hooks, I'm gonna have to exchange this and see about either getting this one repaired or ordering a new one, the right one. So.
Later.
Okay, so I've got this inside. I believe the crack is right in here. And I'm going to melt that and see if I can't fix it. Here we go. Let's see if this works. Hopefully this will get hot enough. That does not mean it's done. I don't think the dog likes the smell of burning plastic. I'll be honest with you, I don't know if this is making any headway or not. Well, that's what it looks like. Scuff that up a bit, put some of the epoxy on it. Let's see if that solves the problem. Alright, there's the epoxy. Put this on nice and thick here. Get the whole area. This will most certainly not be the prettiest thing, but it will definitely be almost positively sure it's going to work. Maybe we'll see, find out.
A few moments later.
All right, it's back in. I'll fill it up. Nice new bolt there. We'll fill it up and see what happens. Fill that up. And now she's all back together. Missing a couple pins, but they were missing anyway. I'll go to Ace and replace those. And yes, very soon that's getting taken care of. But back it off the ramps and let it run for a while. All right. Nothing underneath the car. It's been running for a good 10 minutes. Putting some air in the tire. Not to deal with that. We're up to operating temperature. Where she's supposed to be.